Well, I guess that's our cue to come on to this one, Fuzzy. I mean,
Oh, wait.
right here in game number 2. I mean, the Guan Yu first pick, or first ban here. I mean, even though it didn't have the greatest performance in the last one, I still think that Guan Yu is a fantastic and an exceptional got onto it, and just kind of had a little bit of a struggle last time around. So good ban here by Team 14 to take this one out.
Yeah, just making sure you ban the healer, and Guan Yu can be a bully in that solo lane, but we all saw Final K play it at Worlds. The Kukulkan is a monster, and so Kukulkan able to make sure that he's going to keep around with that. But the Chang'e ban, I guess no one wants to see the Chang'e ADC anymore, and I understand that it could be a little bit spicy, but Chang'e is a very, very good goddess in this game right now in Season 7, and just can absolutely demolish everybody. Now, on the other side, Persephone and Set, no real surprise from those.
I mean, after the performance that we saw from the Chang'e last game, it's no surprise seeing it banned away here. And I'm sure in a lot of the round 1 matches, we saw a lot of the Chang'e and everything else going on through here. We'll throw it to the rosters real quick, though. Team 14's roster, piloted by their captain, Banana. It's Maple, Sprinkle Madinkle, Pneumonia, Gofon, and Banana, taking on Team 16, which is Craze, Escalated, Falco, Big Winnie, Kuzumbo. But you guys don't care about us. I mean, did you guys see who was on before us? It's Wraithyn and Bobby. Throw it back to these guys. I don't know what production's thinking throwing it over to us.
Yeah, they're cuter.
All right. Absolutely nothing went wrong there. I had no idea that Bobby and I were supposed to do picks and bans, so we're back. Team 14 picks up the Ra, which he's not had his Season 8 nerfs yet. So he's still a great character. Bobby, you're muted.
All right, I'm not muted now. Raw is just broken. Great first pick.
Great first pick. I can't remember which team has Escalate, Falco, and Big Winner Kuzabo, but those are a bunch of my viewers. And Escalate is actually my younger cousin. So Smite runs in the family here. We just taught my sister how to play. My 2 cousins played after I started playing, and my brother started playing, and now my cousin's getting his chance to shine. That's Escalated. I don't know what he's gonna play though. Sobek Apollo coming through for Team 16. Absolute dominating lane, unbelievable. Bobby, break this duo lane down for me, bro.
It's just Bobby, break this down. The Sobek, wonderful first pick. You can't really counter pick it. It also plays really well into the Ra. The anti-heal, you can disrupt the Ra a lot. And then if you get your ult onto the Ra, he can't really get away from you. Yep. And then Apollo's just really sick. He's a little bit of a flex pick right now. He can go ADC or to jungle. He has seen a lot more play in jungle. I mean, in ADC at a comp play level, but in the ranked, he sees a lot of jungle play. I'm excited to see where they put him. Tsukiyomi pick, Kuzumbo pick. Kuzumbo's a little bit of a weird pick because I don't think that matchup in the Sobek is very good. So maybe it's going into solo lane, looking to go back to the days when Kuzumbo was a solo laner instead of a support.
Yeah, I think Kuzumbo is just your absolute I'm going to get in your backline and ult you and just disrupt stuff. I think in these pickup format tournament types, he's actually a strong pick because you have teams that aren't used to playing with each other or anything like that. And anytime that you have somebody who could just get in the back line and knock people up and push people around, it's always going to go well.
Fair enough. If he can just get onto the mage, he'll be doing his job just well. I don't really know how the solo laner phase would go with Kukulkan versus Kuzumbo. I think Kukulkan just kind of wins most laning phases as long as he just waits for his transform. And then the bans, Rama, King Arthur, so they're expecting that Kuzumbo to probably go to support. Banning away the Arthur, something that can match the Kukulkan in lane. And then the Disco pick comes out. Just a really safe mage you can go. She applies anti-heal really well onto the Ra. She has safety against the Tsukiyomi. The Invis is a pain to play against, but I think Kuzumbo is a pretty good matchup in Disco. She can't really get away from him.
That sounds great. I really like that analysis. Thank you, Bobby. I wasn't paying attention because the man, the myth, the legend, iRAFFER is in the chat right now, and that's the only thing anybody cares about. What's going on, Raph? We love you, brother. You guys can hear me echoing in Bobby's mic because he lives in my house now because nobody else wanted to take him. But here we see the Discordia picked. I really think that guy is heavily underrated. And the Onher in the ADC role. Onher, Kuzumbo, big bully lane. This is going to be a heck of a matchup. Oh, it's going to be Kuzumbo solo.
I mean, you can kind of play those both in either places. Hurt can play in solo support well. Kuzumbo plays solo support well. Maybe just looking to let the counter pick happen, see where they want to play them. Maybe they have a little bit of flex potential there. If I had to guess, I feel like Herc plays better as a support than a solo laner. Even though we have seen some more solo play out of the Herc, I just think Herc support is just strong. He wins the lane. Like, he'll just bully. Unless is the support a Masters player on Team 14? He can't play the Warrior, right? So maybe
it may not be a Masters player. The only rules are if you do have a Masters support that they have to play a non-warrior or non-assassin. So we'll see. Just a quick shout out, thanks to Raph Daddy. We actually had a whole bunch of PayPal donations go through, and Raffer went and checked for us so we could shout you guys out on stream. John Robinson with a $500 donation, which I am going to match to make it an even 1,000. Cameron Jensen with a $75 donation. $50 from Taylor McKinnon. Cameron Jensen again with another $75. Amber Morrow with 50. Pam Apam, head of Apam Productions in the SPL Rundown, donated 400 pounds, which I think is like $500. Anna Bananimation with $20. Juan Vasquez with 15. Matthew Roth with 15. And Kevin Gino with another 25. So between that, the $500 I'm sending over and the $400 from my parents, we got at least another $2,000 heading their way between in the PayPal donations. So thank you guys so much. You guys are killing it. The subs are flowing. The donos are flowing. The bits are flowing. Let's keep it going, you guys. All right. I think we get into this game. I think people are sick of us.
Yeah, I think they probably just want to get rid of us.
All right.
Stop hearing you through my mic.
Credit cards out. Let's do this.
Oh, they're still okay. Yeah, Nike pick, Nike last pick. I don't know what are they playing the Nike jungle. Little shout out to Sino there, playing the Nike in the jungle.
I think it's Kukulkan jungle because that god's broken.
You think Kukulkan jungle is broken?
Yes, absolutely.
And the Diamond India is starting to come out. Yeah, it's probably going to be the Nike in the jungle. I expect Kukulkan to go in the solo lane. He just plays that lane a lot better. And yeah.
We'll see. This is a fun pickup tournament. We could see anything. We could see it. I don't see a bunch of SPL sweaties in there, so we could literally see anything of this. We just saw Chunga ADC last game.
He slapped too. He played it really well. So yeah, maybe the Kukulkan will be in jungle. Maybe.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, I've got an idea.
Okay.
So we see the comps. We don't see the players. Whose comp do you like better? Who do you think wins just based off comps?
Team 16.
Team 16.
Yep. Oh yeah. Triple dive, lots of self peel on the carry, so they can get away pretty quickly. I like Team 16 way better.
Really, even into the raw healing, the Herc Kuzumbo front line on her Tsukiyomi backline. That early aggression out of Team 14 is insane.
Yeah, the early aggression is nice, but the raw healing doesn't mean anything when you get a Kukulkan barbed spear and a disco with a divine ruin off, which smacks the entire team in a team fight.
And Sobek
3 is another one. There you go. Well, I mean, I'm assuming the Sobek is going to be on Falco, who can't hit any abilities as it is. So,
that's why you didn't add it in there. That makes sense.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it depends on who picks up the Sobek. If it's somebody who's actually talented with a mouse and keyboard, or even a controller, Big Wiener Kuzumbo is playing in this game, which he is the world's best controller player with a $3,000 gaming PC. So if he's on that Sobek, we might actually see some anti-heal applied in these team fights.
Yeah, the Ra maybe is not gonna be healing a lot. All right, how about the laning phase, the 2v2 on her versus Apollo? I don't know, man. That looks good for the on her.
I think it's Apollo jungle and Kukulkan ADC then in that case. I mean, I'm just kidding.
That's good too, man. That early pressure. You don't need the blue buff on Kukulkan. Perfect.
All right, we're going to stop talking about these team comps because we clearly don't know anything. And until Jithins gives me that little bug in my ear that says it's okay to give it over back to the beautiful J-Mac Tucker and Fuzzy Wuzzy, we're going to talk about the real thing that matters here, and that is supporting our fellow SMITE community members. Please use !Raffer in the chat. Use the PayPal donation link. Use the GoFundMe link. Right here, right now. Donate to this great cause. Help these guys get back on their feet and get their stuff back. They're wonderful people. iRAFFER has been a pillar of the SMITE community and the SMITE Pro community for about as long as most of us have been playing and watching the game, and we stick up and stand around for our own around here. So Get your credit cards out. Get your PayPal out. Donate. I've already matched up to $500 with the big donate from John Robinson. So I know you guys can chip in too. Make it happen. All right. I just got the word. We're ready to head into game. Fuzzy Wuzzy, J-Mac Tucker, take it away. Let's see this absolute clown f***ing fiesta unfold.
Thank you so much, Wraithyn. As we jump into game 2, and I have to say, when we were looking at picks and bans between what Bobby and saying and Wraithyn were saying, I liked what Wraithyn was saying, that Team 16 has that sort of peel, but Team 14 to me has my heart because they're playing with the Kuzenbo support, and I just love seeing Kuzenbo support being played.
Look, the whole time they were arguing about where this Kakolan was going, I'm sitting there going, okay, you got either Wraithyn's family or Wraithyn's viewers on these teams. This to my mind would go Kakolan jungle just because Wraithyn's the Kakolan jungle is broken. We got to do it everywhere. So you would think it would fall in line with everybody else who watched it would put on that. But no, we are seeing Kakolan go into the solo lane onto that one. And it is going to be the Nike jungle, kind of shout out to Sino, as Bobby said. So we're going with a little bit more of the SPL sweaties here onto this one.
You know, SPL Sweaty is totally fine. We're here to have fun, but what's going to be more fun is keep donating and make sure that you guys give out to iRAFFER because he is, as Wraithyn said, one of the pillars of SMITE. He's been around this for a very long time, and we just want to throw him our support and say thank you so much. As a Pluck's going to come in, as now the Kuzenbo seems to be out of pitch, but a great impale from Banana just to save his own support. So good teamwork coming out of Team 14 so far.
I mean, this is just what dual lane is going to consist of for these two teams. You have a highly aggressive supporting Kuzenbo and Sobek, and you're going to see it there. Good little push, though, by Banana. Might be doing the supporting himself.
Banana making sure that his teammate stays alive, and Tsukiyomi was making a rotation to see if maybe they could get something for it, but unfortunately they were just able to call it out. Just the perfect timing to back away, but what a great play from Banana just to keep his support alive, and that's what you want to do. That's what this is all about. Just team play, have fun, and so far Team 14, they're enjoying the fun. Team 16 have a little bit of a gold lead, but again, we're 1 minute into the game. Nothing too crazy is going to happen with that, but it is going to be fun to watch this solo lane side. Herc into Colin, J-Mac. I'm really curious to see who actually wins that one because both players are just bullies.
I mean, that anti-heal on Kakolan is going to be so powerful going up against him, even though if he doesn't have a sustain just yet. Herc has a lot of damage early on. He's got great CC, but I think Kakolan's outright flat damage and the anti-heal is going to help him edge out. Plus, he doesn't need to worry about mana just because it's Kakolan. Mana's not an issue for him. Good little pillar there by Banana will make sure that Falkia has to stay at bay, and I like that both of them opted to go behind onto that one. But another thing to pop into onto here, we do have some donations that popped in the midst of all of it. $36 from Dominic Hopkins, $10 each from Dustin Acosta and Shane Fold. And then lastly, we got Matthew Honeberger with $20 donations. Thank you so much for the donations to iRAFFER and Tiggy here. We still have more night to come, more SMITE to be had.
Yeah, keep it coming. We know how generous the SMITE community is, and we want you guys to support one of our own. He is our own player. He is one of our favorite players, one of my favorite players to ever play the game. So keep it coming. Keep those credit cards. Keep everything coming for it because this is such a great cause. As we're 3 minutes into this game, it's dead even. Nothing really to talk about. No real kills. Everybody taking it kind of slow. And I think that's the way they want to play this. Both teams want to play it a little bit slow, but in all honesty, Team 14 should be playing this much more aggressive because they do have this early lane. But with that duo lane being a level ahead, maybe like a half a level at this point, it's a little bit hard for Team 14 to position themselves into this duo lane.
Like, don't tell me these teams want to play slow. That's not what we came out here to watch. We didn't come out here to watch slow SMITE.
Look,
we came out here to watch
J-Mac.
these teams smack each other in the mouths as much and as fast as possible. Look at the dual lane say traps. You can't tell me they want to play slow with that.
Look, I'm so used to EU SEC. I'm used to First Blood happening at 10 minutes into the game, all right? It's just first second nature to me at this point. So whenever I see it 4 minutes into the game and no kill happens, I just immediately regress to my EU scene, right?
Yeah, there's a reason we put you over in EU. If you just want to sit here and be Mr. Resident Sleeper the whole time, have fun with your EU, sitting back here doing nothing all day long kind of nonsense. Where I'm from in A on these matches, we're here to watch people fight for 25 minutes and then maybe see a Titan fall. 4 more big donations coming through. Isaiah with a $100 donation. Zenova, one of the fellow SMITE streamers, with a $50 dono. Tyler Smith with $100. And SNK with $50 of his own. Thank you so much for the big donos coming out here to support iRAFFER and Tiggy onto it. Much appreciated for all of you guys. Back to the game. We keep going as more donos keep pulling in again. One last one before we go back into the game, though. $50 from Phoenix popping in onto this one. Again, thank you all so much for these donations to help out a great cause.
Keep coming, though. That's what we want to see. As Historia's going to go ahead and throw out the ultimate and see if maybe they can land on the Kuzenbo, but it will not hit. Nike will go ahead and throw out her ultimate, but Kuzenbo's going to return as Kuzenbo picks up the first blood because of a great raw snipe coming out. Maple, great play for him.
Finally, we get to see some action onto it. It comes out of the 3v3 mid lane. Great snipe out of Maple. Better setup there, though, out of the jungle and out of their support with Gofon being able to help set that one up. And the Water Grave was going to end up getting the killing blow onto it. Meanwhile, slapboxing into the solo. Mike, a nice push under tower. The boulder after needs one more basic, maybe a second one to finish it out, and he will get it. Sprinkle me dinkle with a nice solo kill.
Gotta love the name, gotta love the way that he played that great play from the Hercules. I thought he was playing on the back foot, but no, it was all part of a calculated plan there, J-Mac, and I think that's what Team 14 is doing, just calculating everything. It was a calculated Kuzenbo ult into the raw snipe to set it up. It was a calculated Hercules pull. I mean, this team is playing out of their mind.
Don't you calculated me. He shoved him in. He calculated. No.
Calculated.
He watched False blow his entire kit in front of his face and threw him under the tower because that's what Hercules does. He threw a boulder in his mouth because that's what Hercules does. Everything after that.
It wasn't a boulder, it was a baseball. I have to correct you on that. It was a baseball that was being thrown at him.
Okay, a baseball the size of a boulder. Let's put it at that then. It's a small boulder the size of a large boulder coming at him onto that one, okay?
And it was coming at him at 100 miles an hour because that damage was absolutely insane, but also the damage from the tower alone as well. That just was a great push from him, as he said, and it's still crazy to think, though, that with all of this pressure, they can't really do too much with it because the gold lead is the exact same.
Pushing in, getting the minions killed out there. Sprinkle Medinkle, even though he's been the one at the tower line the entire time, he's the one who's really got advantage in this lane. False now has to kind of be a little bit more careful here because if False walks too far forward, it could just be a repeat. Nice salmon leap over the Earthbreaker that time around to make sure he doesn't fall similar fate. You're going to see the ultimate out of the solo laner there as well, but this 3v3 over the mid Harpies on this right-hand side. Team 14 are going to try and keep themselves alive. Only 200 gold in the lead so far.
Yeah, 200 gold is not going to be enough for anything at this point. They're just trying to make sure that everybody stays the same, and the 200 gold is surprising the fact that First Blood is 500. So that gold lead is truly crippling back up into Team 16's favor and trying to make sure that they can stop that. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Big thing to keep an eye out for. If you're in the chat, throw iRAFFER in all caps in the chat for a chance to win 3,500 gems and a season pass up for grabs. So if you haven't already, capital letters, all of them, iRAFFER in the chat for a chance to win some amazing giveaways onto them.
And you guys got to keep going with it. Right now on the GoFundMe, we have 2,507, and that's not up. It's updated every so often. So keep it coming. We'll update those as it comes in. But you guys got to keep it going. As a push coming in from Kuzenbo, getting the beads out from this Discordia, making sure that now the next time that they want to focus them, that's going to be the main target.
Still pushing forward. Level 9 now on this draw. Got a little bit of a lead over Craze. Maple playing that first big team fight really well for him. Now Sprinkle Medinkle, 4 players staring at him, trying to take his blue buff. He's got some help from the rest of the team coming through. Escalated, gonna throw their ult out and jump right onto Nyao. He's gonna have to run as fast as they can, but they cannot get away from the damage of Craze as that golden apple is just too much damage to take him down.
That's all it took was the golden apple, and it was a great rotation from Team 16, and Maple just missing the ultimate. No snipe gonna happen, and now he's caught out of a bad position. He's gonna try to see if he can flashbang his way out of there, but he's gonna get knocked up. Sobek is right there. He doesn't have the pluck available, but Nike is getting body blocked, but Discordia will pick it up.
Great juke boots for the start there on the Maple, but Craze is an even better shot. Another big shout out onto it, Frost, a huge host coming into it. Thank you so much, Frost, for the host to keep this tournament going, to keep the viewership up onto it, and keep those donations going through. Early on in this game, 600 gold now in favor of Team 16. They were not the ones who got first blood, Fuzzy, but they're the ones who are pulling ahead in these matchups, in these fights. And a great little cheeky trick there by Banana. Keep an eye out for there, all you ADC on her players. That's how you utilize that pillar. Make sure you take no damage and also don't have to worry about taking that Screech debuff either from that Alpha Harpy.
just Banana being Banana. That is one of the most one of my favorite players. As when I play with him, we're kind of memeing together every now and again. So Banana, it's good to see him in this tournament. But it's really interesting to just kind of keep watching this. And as you said, the gold lead is still in favor of Team 16, and it's just simply because of the fact that all they're doing is just farming and grouping as a team and grouping as a unit to try to make sure they farm this side. This is what Wraithyn was talking about. They have that self-peel, and they have the great setup from not only 2 tanks, but 3 when it comes from False, Escalated, and the Sobek with Falkio playing it. So this is going to be a really good setup team for Team 16.
Oh no, good Mez might be enough to keep him.
What are we talking about?
He just put them to sleep and said, all right, I'm out of here. A big Winnie Kuzumbo on the Apollo this time around. Just shut down that entire rotation with 1 button.
Gotta love it. Mez coming out strong, and he's level 11, so I'm pretty positive he's about maybe 2 ranks in there, so it's almost like about 0.8 seconds of a Mez, and Mez's take forever, and you do not want to waste your beads on it as well, because if you waste your beads on a Mez, then you're kind of just unfortunately going to be stuck there.
Mez is never fun to deal with. There's only a few of them in this game, and that one on Apollo. Imagine if you had a Kumakarn thrown onto it as well. Even more Mez, even more sleepy time. If you're curious the difference, if you're new to SMITE, what a Mez is versus stun. A Mez is like a stun, except it breaks on damage, so you want to make sure to hit that Mez and just run away as quick as you can. Same thing with a stun, but Mez works in that similar fashion.
Yeah, and Mez is just one of those great CC abilities that, as you were saying, just keeps everybody there. And that's what you want to do as an Apollo. That's the self-peel that they were talking about. But I think with Team 16, they want to just keep this put pressure on the metal. The Escalated is running around the jungle trying to make sure he can keep everything alive. They've got the Kakolin that's going to be able to set up like just solo kills like this, just being able to do crazy amounts of damage. So False just making sure that he keeps that Hercules at bay, and that's what you want to do if you're this Kakolin.
Well, no ultimate available for the Hercules CE. He just has to deal with the full brunt of this Kakolin for the time being. Trying to avoid as much as he can. Finally gets it back up and uses it to clear out the minions, but it may have been a little bit early and a little preempted to use that. Rotation from the jungler, but Pneumonia is nowhere near strong enough, I think, to take down False. He's only level 9 right now on the Tsukiyomi. Big Impale, though, on a Falkio.
That's going to be the Desert Fury coming out, and that's going to be a great pickup for this Team 14. Now they can start this Gold Fury really easily. Maple is going to be there. He does have that ultimate available for secure just in case the Apollo comes in as Craze picks up a kill all the way from the solo lane. Here comes the ultimate. It will hit, and Team 14 does get it, and now Apollo is stuck, but he's going to try to ult away. Will he get out? He will not. The on her being able to pick it up as the helicopter crashes.
There was no chance. He dashed in aggressively onto it, and they're going to pay with their life onto it. False simply a kill onto Banana. Try to make this Gold Fury a little bit less worth it. Escalated, getting pushed against the wall, has to use their beads, but not going to be able to close the gap onto Maple.
And that's what Maple's going to try to do, just maintain the distance so that he can get all that pressure off. And if he can get all that damage off in front of his team that's setting him up, that's going to be huge. But Craze was able to just be able to kill the solo laner and make sure that everybody just stayed back. And so that really was big for Team 16, and that's going to keep them in this game. But Team 14 was able to get a little bit of a gold lead just because of that Gold Fury.
Man, Sprinkle played that blue buff really well. I mean, to some people it thinks, oh, it's just a push. Oh, it's just a blue buff, whatever. Huge play out of that one, pushing the minion out of the ultimate range out of False and then using his own to secure it. I mean, chef's kiss. Beautiful play there by Sprinkle.
And that's what you want to do as a Hercules. If you can't secure it yourself, make the other person do the damage so that you can have your abilities available so that you could secure it. And that's exactly how Sprinkle wanted to play it. Great play. And False just making sure that he puts his foot down. He wants to make sure that this lane is his lane. And it's kind of hard when Sprinkle's playing little plays like that.
That one was calculated, Fuzzy. That was a calculated play there out of the Hercules, being able to secure that buff for himself, but still moving into it. 4-4 on the board. About 500-600 gold. Favorite Team 6 and beads forced out of Maple. As a pluck on a tower by Falkio, able to hit a nice little shot there and force that relic away from the mid laner.
Yeah, and that mid laner relic is going to be huge. As you're going to see, that's all they're going to try to do is now focus this mid laner out, because Raw, he's kind of just a sitting duck until, you know, he's able to do his abilities, and that's when he's able to get that little bit of movement speed with his passive. So Raw making sure that you get that beads away, that's going to make sure that everybody can set him up with Escalated with that slow from the Nike ultimate, making sure that Sobek could pluck him into a bad situation. This is a great time to make sure that that you focus this mid laner.
A very risky play going for this Pyromancer early on. They've got the secure with the Raw, but the question is, are they going to be able to keep the Raw within range to grab it? Ultimate's too early and stolen away by Craze.
Yeah, and now the Tsukiyomi's going to come in and ult. He's going to try to do as much damage as he can. Discordia coming out, but Nike escalated a big ultimate to make sure that Golden is going to be able to secure, as Falkio is going to be able to pick up that Kuzubo. As the fight still continues, Escalate's going to jump in onto the Raw, who doesn't have the beads available, but he's going to be able to get away just because of that movement speed.
So fast on the mid laner, able to get away. Thorns popped by Sprinkle as he runs into the middle of all of them, but everybody's just ignoring the soul laner. They don't care, and with the juke by Escalated to get away from the push, Sprinkle might be the one in trouble. No ultimate available for himself, and no real way to secure this buff. He's gonna get the good knock-up, but is that gonna be enough to keep it going for it? Red buff has been stolen away by Team 16. And the fight continuing afterward, able to get one kill. Banana onto Escalated, still looking for another one. Dashed in by the Apollo, big weenie. Gonna try and go away, but he's got the beats. Get out.
And that's going to be big, but that's a double kill for the On Her, and now they're going to focus onto False, and False is not looking great. He does have a Salmon Leap available here pretty soon, but a lot of damage being done to him. But Craze is going to be able to pick up Maple. The Boulder comes out to see if maybe False can fall. The push, will it happen? It should, but a Salmon Leap, there it is, comes out. He's going to try to make sure he can get away. The Blink's coming out, and unfortunately, False is leading them on the Goose Chase, and so he's going to have to ult just to see if he can get a little bit more, and I think he's going to be able to stay alive until the push comes in. On Her with the last auto, but GoFan picks it up.
It's going to be a big kill there for GoFan, able to get a kill onto the support forward to make sure he can stay alive and healthy for Craze. Going to get a good apple onto Pneumonia. Pneumonia not able to secure the kill just yet and standing up those cooldowns for Craze. Looking for another big combo onto it. Able to get one. The little bullets are not going to be enough to dash in. But Craze with a beautiful strike. Going to be able to take down the enemy jungler and trade it out 1-for-1.
I really like that play. It was a really good turn right there. Also, hello, guys. I had to take off for a couple seconds.
Hello, Bobby.
Hello.
Plus, he said he had to poop.
Okay, well, we weren't going to put it onto there like that.
Yeah.
So Pussy did have to step away for a moment. So we got Bobby and maybe Wraith if he pops in onto the voice every so often to jump into it. But, I mean, Bobby, so far, Team 16, they've been playing well. But Team 14 is just kind of going nutty with them right now.
Yeah, it's just really hard to keep up with this Raw. Like, you've seen he's been in multiple bad positions, and somehow he just still is just finding ways to get out. I wonder into the late game if Raw is just going to go into a mantle to try to just live a little bit longer, see if he can just keep that survivability up there, or if he's just going to go into more damage, as much damage as he can.
Oracle Harpy secured by Team 16 as they're priming up for the Primal Fury. Laner group up onto it. Frontliners, Team 14. Position where they should be for it, but he's kind of spreading out on Team 16. It's going to be a knockup onto one and a throwback on his Spring Medical. He gets shoved out into the middle of it. Ultimate's still online for everybody. Maple's going to throw out his and only hit Craze onto the back end of it. And Spring Medical with no ult, no dash. He's going to be caught out in the midst of it. Falkio will be the first one to fall. Great jump out of Banana and Desert's Fury for the Cease Immunity and the damage. Going to put a lot back onto Falls. Falls is getting so low. He's going to need some help. Maple's going to miss the beam, but the slow is going to be enough from the flashbang to take him down. Pneumonia will fall, though. Escalating. Craze trading out and getting 3 kills on the back end side, only losing out Falls for it. They're still chasing him down. Banana has to jump away, and the pillar just to close off the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't seem like Banana was in the best position for that fight. You see the great start off by the fight. Sprinkle got a 2-man push the entire team back. But Banana was just sitting there behind the Gold Fury wall and was just unable to get any damage off until too late. And then the 2 tanks just died.
I've been looking to take away this Primal Fury. Team 16 does grab it. We got another giveaway in the chat. Another big keyword out there for you. Tiggy in the chat for another chance at a giveaway. We're not done just yet. We may be playing some Smite up on here. We might be catching some Smite, but there's giveaways going on in chat. You should be paying attention to that as well. Tiggy and iRAFFER's in the chat. Tiggy, the most important one for it right now. Throw that keyword into the chat for a chance at a giveaway.
Yeah, I don't know what to talk about here. Great clearing by GoFan right here. It's clearing the way really well. The struggle of a Kuzubo, a support trying to solo clear mid-wave. Tough. You see, I'm used to that struggle.
It's the struggle life for the support players. I don't know why they let 2 support players get on here onto the mic for some reason. It blows my mind. Well, all we're going to do is talk about how support life just... It's a rough life out here, Bobby.
Buff tank items.
Yes, please. Make us even more unkillable. Actually, just
What are you
make us
talking about? Bobby's about
unkillable.
Bobby's about as supportive as a Walmart training bra.
All
What
right,
the
wow.
heck, man?
Wraithyn throwing some shots out here. I mean, I haven't seen Wraithyn ever hit the SPL or even the SEC at
That's
some
what I'm
point.
saying.
So I mean, right now,
Masters rank game.
Yeah. Ooh, all right, then. Throwing that low blow onto it and really punching down onto him for that one. Grouping up around the Pyromancer, though, Team 14 and Team 16. I mean, I wish we had some really fun creative names with them, but now they just want to be lame. Team 14, Team 16. We have numbers in our name. About as creative as having numbers in your actual name onto that one.
Well, I used to have numbers in mind, so I feel the struggle of that.
Well, hold on. Were they tacked on to like the beginning or end because the name was taken, or did you have them like replacing letters?
Tacked on at the end because the name was taken.
Big sad. It's a big sad life. Another sad life there is for Big Weenie Kuzumbo just getting absolutely manhandled by a banana. As I'm being told now that Fuzzy may be making his return back here, so unfortunately we got to have our fun with Inbound, but now it's back to Fuzzy on the mic with it.
I'm back.
The lane they go. Welcome back, Fuzzy.
Thank you, and I apologize. Everybody had to take care of something really quick, but it's like really close games coming out from this because I step away for 5 minutes, and the gold lead really hasn't changed too much. It's only 200 gold in favor of Team 14. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean it's a really
Fuzzy,
close race here. So on.
Was the Chipotle better going in or coming out?
It was definitely better going in as usual, because you know Chipotle coming out it's the spiciest of spices. If that makes sense, Wraithyn.
Man. How are we ever gonna keep this? Yeah, we can't even keep this chat sane at this point. We can't keep ourselves sane, and that's the whole fun of it. A Pyromancer by Team 16 started out here. There's nobody from Team 14 even in position to try and stop this one.
It's just, unfortunately, it's just poor map awareness from coming out from Team 14. That's the goal. You have a Raw that's able to long distance snipe, and Maple has to burn his beads because how much damage that Strife did. The Thorn's coming out, and now False just gonna be able to kind of go in and do as much damage as he can.
False getting shoved around under the tower by the GoFan. False gonna get shoved back in the tower by Trickle Medinkle. Picked back up again. There's no escape from the tower, False. You thought you could leave, but all of Team 14 just said no.
Oh, and they're still gonna keep going though. Escalated coming in to see if he can maybe get a good slow off. He's able to get that ultimate, and I think that might not be enough to do it because look at the Sprinkle Me Dink. He's running around with little bits of nuggets of health.
GoFan gets thrown into the midst of them, but he has enough tankiness. He has enough survivability to stay alive during all that. Most importantly, they don't have a tower shooting back at him. Falkio with a good pluck, but it's not going to be good enough. At least for the time, Team 14 will be able to defend their Tier 1. All of Team 16 now has to back away. Cause just look at the sustain on Team 14, topping everybody back off in health.
It's absolutely insane how much just juggling performance Team 14 did in that team fight. We saw the Hercules knock him up, then we saw the Honor push him, then we saw the Kuzumbo push him back even further. There was no escape for poor False, and even though he was the only person to fall, the pressure still remained for Team 16 up until they had to completely disengage because there was no one really there healthy enough to survive, and because Raw is so good in this meta, he was just able to heal everybody back up, and that's Team 14's big victory now that they have this wide open map, making sure that all the towers on the right-hand side are down, and they open up the map even more with this mid lane tower.
I mean, there's just a wombo combo of Team 14 here with this draft. They have, obviously, the Impale from On Her for some great CC setup. They've got the Kuzumbo to shove people around. They got the Herc for displacement. And just to boot, they've got some extra CC out of the Tsukiyomi. Oh, and by the way, following up with a Raw ultimate on top of all of that. So much damage and crowd control from Team 14 that they can really handle these fights well. Speaking of crowd control, going to get a push on the Falls, shove him under the pillar, but he's going to have the leap to get away. Meanwhile, starting up onto the Oni Fury, throwing out the boulder. Team 16 secures the Fury, but what about the fight after?
Oh, this could be a disaster for Team 16 as now the On Her is on a rampage. Sobek's trying to run away with lurking in the waters, but he's able to get away with a little bit of help with that Pridwin shield just to keep him alive. But that's still a lot of pressure. Even though Team 16 are able to get that Oni Fury, get some Oni minions getting pushed up to see if maybe they can get some pressure. There's still a Raw, there's still an On Her, there's still level 20, and it's going to be really difficult for Team 16 to keep pushing this, try to keep, they're just stuck on the back foot. As now Team 14 can get this Fire Giant almost free.
Starting up the Fire Giant. I wouldn't necessarily call it free just yet. They do still have Escalated who can jump into the midst and disrupt something, but they gotta be able to out-secure Maple over anything. Maple recognizing, leaving the Fire Giant pit, and will be able to secure that Fire Giant.
And now the fight will push in as now, look at Banana, he's looking for an impale to see if he can get the Sobek. Sobek will go ahead and dash away. Escalator tried to give his team a little bit of help, but Apollo coming in from the skies onto a Sprinkle Me Dinkle who has thorns. That's not where you want to land as the boulder comes out and hits the Sobek. Maple picking up Craze in that fight. Blink coming out from Tsukiyomi will go ahead and get the stun. The beats coming out from Apollo. Apollo is now the next target as 2 gets pushed by Sprinkle Me Dinkle. The Mesmer's going to go up, he's going to go up, and then it's going to go back down. Maple's going to go for a double kill.
God, Sprinkle Me Dinkle is a god on this Hercules. The amount of times he just hit that knockup, no setup, no problem whatsoever. Making it so big, Maple with the triple kill on the Raw. Maybe a
go for the Quadra! Oh, no Quadra. The Tsukiyomi taking it away from him. Maple is screaming in the cause, but it's still available. As long as Sobek keeps lurking in the waters, they still could look for it.
Gonna shove him back against the wall. Impale's gonna be a little bit off the mark onto that one, but impressive play out of the solo and the mid laner. 14-14.
And now they're going to focus the Sobek. This could be the deicide, and this could spell the game. They're not going to go ahead and go for the end because look at Crazy's death timer. He is back up now, making sure that he can try to defend this right-hand side, so they have to completely reset. But a huge win for Team 14. That gold lead that was almost insignificant is now 2,000. That's a few almost tier 1 items right there for certain individuals.
You are in the chat. Be making sure that you're paying attention anytime that a code word is dropped down to be throwing your shot at it. Throw that code word in the chat. Tiggy in the chat for a chance at some op-wash codes for you onto that one. Just make sure, if you're watching this game, more on you. This game is insane right now, but always have that chat ready and available for you. When you see that code word thrown out, toss one into there. Looks like the codes have been given away onto that one. Congratulations to the winners for some op-wash codes. Back into a Team 14 now with a Phoenix down, Fuzzy. 2,000 gold doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you've got a Phoenix and the Fire Giant, that 2,000 gold is more like a 7,000 gold lead at this stage.
Yeah, it's still going to be significant, but what's going to be more significant is here pretty soon, that's going to be an enhanced Fire Giant in about 4 minutes. Even though the Fire Giant respawns in 2 minutes and 45 seconds, the enhanced is definitely what they're going to look for. If Team 16 is able to even get a pick to where they have to completely disengage from the enhanced fire, that's going to spell probably a possible victory for them, but it's going to be a little dicey because I think if I'm Team 14, I go for the next Fire Giant regardless if it's enhanced or not because you want Team 16 to play on this back foot.
Team 16, they've got great defensive options. They've got Sobek for initiation. They've got counter initiation with the Kokolin, with the Nike. They've got a lot of frontline presence. They just need to be present in these fights for it. The biggest problem that they're running into is the single pick wombo combo that they have. Like I said earlier, they have On Her, they have Kuzubo, they have a Hercules. All means of one character gets picked out and it could spell their doom, just like for the Sobek.
As Apollo's going to go ahead and come in. Sobek is looking bad, but Savannah is going to go ahead and drop. This is the team fight that Team 16 needed. That is a 2 for the price of them, and that's what they wanted. And now they can easily go back, defend, make sure that Tsukiyomi can't get this because the Hercules and the Tsukiyomi are going to go ahead and get this mid-tier 1-2 tower, and that's going to fall. That's leaving the door wide open for Team 14, but a great pickup for Team 16, even though they're 5k down.
Great play to stop the potential fight there at that left side Phoenix. Now they have the opportunity to push these fire minions back on the right-hand side as there's only a few seconds left of this Fire Giant buff. So Team 14, that was their kind of last-ditch effort, their last push there to try and take that Fire Giant away. By the way, Totemoku, for those of you who don't know, Totemoku stopped spawning in 15 minutes. That thing's been sitting up there for 12 and a half minutes before somebody finally came back over and smacked it. I just wanted to point that one out there. We've had that totem sitting there that long.
I have to say that's kind of a big brain play because when do you feel like you lose the most mana? It's right around this time when you're trying to get in these team fights and you start losing mana more and more and more. So now you're getting that MP5, even though it's for a minute. I would like to see just a sheer push from this blue squad from Team 14 because it'd be fun just to watch them not have to worry about mana for just a few seconds. But Totemoku is going to inevitably fall off right about now, so that just negates the whole thing. But it would be pretty funny to watch.
Now, see, the biggest brain play would be to hold that Totemoku till the next Fire Giant is up. When you ult to secure the Fire Giant, you also make sure you're on the backside of that to get the Totemoku along with it with your rod. That would have been the big brain onto it. But
that would be a big brain.
Now they just grab it here. They get the Primal Fury, which gives them that extra little boost in the jungle, that extra 7% damage damage dealt and reduced damage taken onto it. So we'll see how they're able to utilize this. They get ready for the Fire Giant. Probably the best Fury that they can ask for at this time as they're ready to take on fire yet again.
And this is the one that they need to take regardless. If they can't take this one and Team 16 is able to pull out maybe a pick or something, or even better, get the Fire Giant themselves, it could spell a win, and that's what they're going to try to do. They have to completely disengage, and Tsukiyomi has to go away. This is not free, J-Mac.
And this is not the best Fire Giant for them to take through. They do have some healing here with this Raw on the backside, but with all the anti-heal built by Escalated and Craze, it's not going to be a lot for Pneumonia to heal back up. He's around half, so is GoFan. And they're going to have to wait for that heal to come back up because they need some way of being able to sustain into this fight. Fire Giant is still being leashed by Team 16 to dive into the backline by False and Escalated, trying to disrupt him.
And that's going to be the Kuzubo ult to make sure that everything gets disabled as the Discordia ultimate lands on him. But now, look at this, the Kukulin is now getting pushed out. But look at how everybody's low on the red team. Maple's able to pick up one. Now the chase continue. Maple can easily shred every single person. The Fire Giant did get reset as Kuzenbo is looking a little bit weak, so he has to play a little bit safe. Maple got Mez. He's going to try to get away. It will not matter. That's a double kill from Maze. Crazy picks up the Kuzenbo. And this Sopek now seems to be the target. The Blink coming out. Sprinkle Me Dinkle yet again is able to pick him up. And now this could very well be game as False is it. False is down. Crazy's the only one left as Maple gets the triple kill. A great solar beam, and this could be the game.
Yeah, say psych on being alive there. Craze had however half his health, and Maple just shut that down instantly. And his ultimate's back up to try and push down this Titan Fuzzy. It looks like this game of round 2 is going to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, as the Titan is going to inevitably fall, this is a great win for Team 14. So close from Team 16, but unfortunately, here in just about 5 more seconds, it will inevitably fall. It looks like they're trying to see if they can wait, but it won't matter. The little ticks from Tsukiyomi will happen. And that's going to be it. Team 14 moving on to the next round. And again, great play from Team 16, but Wraithyn saying that Team 16 was going to win in the late game, you got to eat your words a little bit there, bud.
Would you even call that late game at that point? We're still kind of in
mid-late. It was just straight boxing.
I guess transitioning to the later game, but when it came down to it, it just felt like the actual team fighting was just so much more organized on the side of Team 14. I mean, Team 16 jumped into the middle of 2 players jumped into the middle of an entire group that's under a raw heal. That gives them protection and power. I hope you remember that. I don't think jumping into the raw heal is the best idea for you.
But it is the best idea because you want to win the game and you want to just make sure that you keep your foot on the pedal because, as you said, this is NA. Who cares if you die? As long as you're able to get some other kills in the end, if you take one down with you, then it's a complete win. So good from both teams, but J-Mac, Team 14 inevitably moving on.
Yeah, Team 14 going to take the win and move on into the semifinal match. And we're going to move on to a quick little break here. When we come back, we'll have our lovely host, Wraithyn and Inbound, to be able to break that game down for you and bring us into the next round. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.